Comedy Fest is back, baby! We're going to be streaming across Planet Ants channels on June 4th and June 5th. That's their Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. You get it. There's going to be so much funny stuff. We're talking sketch, stand-up, podcast, live stream, workshops, special guests. Head over to DetroitWomenOfComedy.com to find out how you can join the fun. Yeah.
Hey friends, welcome back. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited that you're here. My name is Margaret Edwartowski, and you have joined us for the May 2021 edition of Hey Gurl. This is a show. If you haven't seen us before, I am a playwright, an author, an actor, improviser, and a nonprofit administrator, as well as a wife and a mother. And I'm coming to you from somewhere near Detroit and through Planet Ant Theater. And I'm excited to have been involved with Planet Ant for a long, long time, and they are in Hamtramck, Michigan. Before we get rolling, I want to introduce someone without whom this show would not take place. And I fully mean that. My right hand and a wonderful lady, please welcome Jessica Cooper.
Hi.
Hey, girl.
Hey, girl.
You almost forgot to say, hey, girl. It's our thing now. Well, it's everybody's thing on here, but it's ours.
It is. I mean, I tell everybody else to do it, but I've only done it once. I think, well,
we might have been twice. I think.
Okay. So maybe after this is habit.
But yeah.
I feel like 3 times and now it's going to be habit. So
yeah, or 10,000 hours, one or the other. We'll get it right at some point.
I'm going to go 3.
Yeah. Well,
I'm good.
Good.
I'm good. A little warm, but
Yeah. So you were saying it's hot where you are.
It is. I don't have air conditioning, and I used to. So it's an adjustment, and it's fine, but not the preference.
No, never the preference. I actually have the air cranked, and I have a fan running.
Ooh, I have a fan running too.
It gets hot after a while. Oh, I didn't turn on my my ring light.
Oh, yeah.
I could be looking so much better lit than this.
It's not bad though, actually. Our normal lighting wasn't.
It was gonna get nighttime,
there you go. No, this is a little brighter.
I never really keep the fourth wall up ever on this show. Like, by the way, we're doing a show.
There's no need to.
So you are involved with the Detroit Women of Comedy Festival, which is coming up soon.
I am. I'm going to be doing what I do for you, but for a weekend.
For a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try not to be jealous. I have to go out of town just so I can deal with my jealousy issues.
I mean, that's fair.
And for a family shower, but mostly the jealousy issues.
Yeah, that first.
Yep. Well, I'll tell them all to be gentle with you.
Okay, I appreciate that.
If I could. Well, I hope you have a great show tonight, Jess.
Yeah, I have a good feeling about tonight.
I do too.
It was a lot of fun beforehand, and I think it's going to keep on rolling. So
agreed. Yeah.
So have a good time.
You can always tell. All right. Thanks. You too.
Yeah.
Hey, girl. So just a couple of thoughts before we bring on our great guests, because if you watched last show, I've been trying to talk less, not just on the show, but in life in general. So I will try not to keep this very long, especially because it's kind of all over the place this week. But that's kind of the week I had anyway. So I saw this quote on a LED sign by a church, in front of a church by my house. And it really had an impact on me because I've been in these spirals of worry. Some of it's pandemic and some of it's, being post 45 and, the age, not the president, and being a mom and all these other things that make you worry a bunch. And the quote was, "Worry is a waste of the imagination." Wow, that really moved me. And it especially moved me because it was my way out of this spiral of worry, because I love living in my imagination. It's very rich, and it's a place that I escape to get away from the worry. So then I kind of became mad at the worry, like, you can't have my imagination. That's precious to me. And it's really been helping, which is especially good because, boy, a few shows ago, we talked about how bad shit still happens, even though there's a pandemic. Now it's just like constant weirdness, like constant unexpected shit flying at you all the time. And mine this week was an unexpected trip to the emergency room with my kid because of an infection that we had checked up, and the doctor was like, go to the hospital. And then, your mind goes to all kinds of terrible places. But the weird thing was my husband had taken him, and I was really surprised by my reaction. And maybe it was from seeing that church sign, because I was in the middle of a Zoom leadership training for work. And I just messaged the person running the training and messaged the head of HR. And I'm like, I have to go to the hospital now. And like, I was surprised how I wasn't like, oh, my kid's in the hospital, right? And then I go out to, start the car, and we haven't used that one in a year. And of course, it's not going to start. So it's over the fence to my neighbor, because of course I'm Gen X, so I would never think to get a Uber, So my neighbor, hey, can you take me to the hospital? Sure. Yeah. Okay. So I'm chill the whole way there. And, the whole time we're there. And of course, I should be very thankful. It ends up being one of those days where you're super worried. And then they're like, well, some Motrin and an ice pack, and it should be fine, And, so thank God for that. But also, like, cool, deductible and worried stomach. We're going to go with Motrin and an ice pack. Great. But the point of it all is, like, if I had not been in a accepting of life is really weird right now place, I would have really been a wreck. And now I'm just in this sort of like, yeah, I mean, ever since 2020, who knows, right? Am I right? Anything could happen. And we keep thinking about, after July 1st around here, we're not going to be wearing masks or whatever. We're going to go back to it. We're not going back. We're going to a new world. We're not going to be back to the way things were before the pandemic, because somebody, Greg Brady, tiki idled this shit. Like, the level of weird stuff that's happened in the last couple of years is off the charts. So there's no like going back. So I've decided I'm not going to swim upstream anymore. I'm not going to fight to try to make things the way they were before, because quite honestly, I mean, they weren't perfect. It wasn't like we don't have any money trouble and nobody ever gets sick and cars never break. No, they were just crummy then too. And as problematic of a phrase as it is, I think I'm just going to lie back and think of England. Like, just let it happen. Why stress out? Because to be honest, the aliens are going to land soon anyway. Like, legit, for real, Pentagon saw them, aliens are coming. So let's not stress ourselves out, right? Let's just take it all in stride, because worry is a waste of the imagination. Let's get on to some guests, shall we? We have 3 amazing women lined up for you to enjoy, for me to enjoy a conversation with tonight. One of them, the first one, is our international guest. And she is returning because, man, we had such a fun time chatting with her last time. I just had to have her back. So our first guest is a writer, performer, currently based in Toronto. She has written and starred in Baroness Von Sketch Show, hilarious, and Newborn Moms. She's an alumna of Toronto's legendary Second City main stage, and her television credits include Orphan Black, Man Seeking Woman, The Gavin Crawford Show, Comedy Now, Corner Gas, The Great Canadian Baking Show, the digital series The Writer's Block, and many others. She's been nominated for many Canadian Comedy Awards for her work in Toronto's live sketch and improv scene. And in 2008, she won the CCA Award for Best Female Improviser. Please warmly welcome our beloved Aurora Browne.
Hey, girl.
Hey, girl.
Hello. Hey, girl.
Hello. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl. I'm just such a sweet little lady. Hey, girl.
You are in a lovely sort of garden setting. You have a very...
Yes. Oh, wow. You can see how warm it is. I'm quite shiny here in Toronto.
I can't see it.
Oh, well, it's extremely sweaty here. We went right from cool spring to whammo. And I'm sitting underneath the fig tree that I've been nurturing in my garden of the living room. You know, when you're stuck inside, you need to make the inside place a really nice place to be.
That's inside. That I thought you were in like a garden setting. Like,
No, it's the little sanity spot that has been a place I love sitting for the last year and a half. It's
oh,
you can't see, we've got some like tiny Christmas lights and other plants, and it's a place where I'm just thinking about what you just said about imagination, because I've spent a lot of time here thinking good thoughts, but probably a bit more in the last year thinking really doom-filled
oh my God.
And so what you're saying is actually really, really striking a chord with me, because I've been trying to find some joy again and not get lost in the whole collapse. People are garbage.
People are
Why
garbage,
have
though.
children? Yes.
Yes.
All that kind of stuff, and finding a little bit of joy, because me worrying and imagining all that terrible stuff is not going to change any of it, coming or not. So I might as well try to have a good time.
Yeah, amen.
Now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of the things I really missed from my 20s was the combination of like full confidence. Like I had no self-doubt. And then the other side was like, if something sucked, it was like, oh, well, let's get drunk, like, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I could blow it off and it wouldn't bother me.
On a personal level, but also like on a general level, I don't remember things feeling quite this bleak ever. Although there was a stretch in the 80s where it was like, what's going to happen with the Cold War? But things seem a little bit worse now, which is why I bought myself an e-bike, to be totally honest. I bought myself a super cool e-bike that looks
Is that like a Peloton?
It's electronic bikes. Like there's various kinds of them. There's tons of them in Toronto now, because there's been such a burst in people ordering food. So there's all these like electronically assisted mountain bikes, and then little Vespa-like emo bikes, and then what I've got is like an e-scooter. So it looks like a motorcycle, but it has a big battery in it.
Oh, for outside.
Yeah. And so I've been like, well, don't want to go on the screen for another half hour or 6. So why don't I take myself for a ride down by the lake and just enjoy it? It's totally silent. So it feels like I'm kind of flying through the city about 3 feet off the ground.
Oh, nice.
And thankfully, my bike looks very cool. It looks like an old motorcycle. So I have these constant little interactions with people going, hey, and we talk joyfully about this machine that I'm riding that I love, not about anything terrible. I've had conversations with like men, women, people just going, yeah, like as we go past. And it's been such a nice break from wondering why we continue to even try to have a civilization.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I know. I know. That's what I was saying. That's my whole thing right now. Is like, yeah, of course. I mean, why wouldn't we go to the hospital this week? It's 2021. Yeah. Like, yep.
Don't you understand the Roaring '20s a whole lot more now, like, considering they had like World War and the 1918 pandemic, and then they're like, what? Let's just drink. Let's just drink and have a really good time for about 10 years until we run it really into the ground. And,
after World War I, just like, who cares?
Everybody needed to chill out a lot.
Oh, Jesus. Well, we don't want this to be the redhead dominated show. We have some really fantastic guests who are waiting, and we want to bring them on. This next guest is a dear friend of mine, and I'm so excited that she's here. She has a story to tell, and she wants to share it with all who are willing to hear. This Detroit native is a playwright who loves creating stories for the theater that reflect the African-American community. Getting her start in the theater industry in 2001, she played the comic relief role of Odessa in the play God Don't Like Ugly, directed by Paul Roach. In 2013, she decided to be on the other side and wanted to write and produce her own play. She created and founded Drama Entertainment, a Detroit-based entertainment group. Clayling is on a mission to change the way African Americans are depicted in the entertainment industry. She writes honest and true-to-life stories for the culture and for all of the muted voices. Ladies and gentlemen, Clayling Woods.
Hey, girl.
Hey, girl.
Hey, girl.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm also hot as well.
I feel so decadent.
No, I'm super excited, Mar. I'm super excited because I have not been excommunicated out of my church this year. Hey, because it was a running trend. Okay.
Was that on the table?
Okay.
Were you?
Yeah.
Well, a couple of times. I'm making my way back. I'm taking baby steps back to the ministry.
Okay.
Kind of had a couple of hiccups.
Okay. Well, you are not shy about saying what you think, which is something I highly respect.
Oh, I'm not.
Which we have that in common and can get you in trouble sometimes.
Well, it's got me in tons of trouble, but I try to be transparent about my life. And
Yes.
those individuals that are in my life, they're always on edge because they don't know what I'm going to share. But it's okay.
Isn't that great, though? I mean, it's probably not fun from the other side, but it's fun to be an unpredictable person. You keep people
I'm
on
very
their toes.
unpredictable.
You are. And you have fabulous
Very.
glasses, by the way.
I was thinking the same thing. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
They look
you.
really cool.
Yeah, they're hiding my lazy eye, but it's okay. No, I'm just playing.
Hey, whatever it takes. I am glad I started wearing glasses again. I wore them when I was young, and now I feel like it really balances out the aging situation going on. The eyes have gotten smaller, and all of this has grown. So it's a nice balance.
I don't get that. To your face, and your hair when you get older.
It's kind of like wearing permanent eyebrow enhancement. You have
I'm thinking about that.
Yeah.
Tattoo.
Oh, the tattooed makeup and eyebrows. Yeah, I couldn't do it, but I don't know. I'm lucky. I've even
it's an investment. It's an investment.
It is. I just try to imagine, like at 90, what do you look like with tattooed eyebrows?
Like a woman with really great eyebrows.
That's eyebrows. Right.
Yeah. That's what you look like.
Well, Clayling, we're going to get into what you've been up to soon, but I want to bring our third guest on and make this officially a party. So I'm super thrilled to have this woman with us. She is a multi-talented actress, writer, vocalist, and improviser. She's originally from the Chicago comedy scene and is best known as an alum of Second City ETC in Chicago, where she co-wrote 3 award-nominated sketch reviews and performed thousands of shows for Chicago audiences. She recently starred as Aunt Denise in 2 seasons of the ABC comedy Mixed-ish, which is a spinoff of Blackish. A charismatic theater performer and vocalist, she has also been seen off-Broadway and nationally. She's also a screenwriter and performs stand-up all over LA. Please warmly welcome, and she's also wearing a fabulous pair of glasses, Christina Anthony.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Oh,
I thought I'd give you something in the lower register.
I love that.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. I'm so excited you're here.
Yeah.
So we all checked in with temperature at first. Is it temperate in the room where you are? Are you hot? I know you're in LA, but
we're chilling. We're in the sweet spot in LA. No AC, no heat, just
so low energy bill time of the year.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. We're paying with our souls, but yeah, the energy is
yeah. So thank you so much for joining us today. I want to just start round robin talking about what you've been up to creatively. And since you're the last one in the door, Christina, why don't we start with you? What you doing now?
Well, you want the truth or a lie?
Whatever you feel most comfortable sharing.
Okay, I'll tell you the truth. So a couple of days ago, the show I was on got canceled.
I'm sorry.
And so I'm doing absolutely nothing. And I have to say, I'm less upset than I thought I would be. And while I was very grateful to have a job, getting up at 4:30 in the morning, like for 2 years in a row, I was like, I was ready for a little break. So right now what I'm doing is like catching up on my marriage. I got married to somebody before the pandemic. I should probably get to know him.
Nice.
We're shopping for apartments together.
Awesome.
I'm going to see my parents for the first time since like December 2019. So
wow, where are they?
Yeah, they're in St. Louis.
Okay. And were you able to? You got married before pandemic hit? Like, did you have an actual wedding and everything?
We eloped. Kind of thinking like things were so busy, like with a TV show. He works on a TV show as well. We're like, our schedules are so crazy. So I just left one afternoon after I got upset and we eloped at the courthouse in Beverly Hills. And then later that weekend, we went in front of our parents, and they saw us get married in the park. But yeah, we didn't have a big thing. And I think I was like, well, in a year, we'll have this huge wedding. And then, yeah, it just, everything went nuts. So that wedding, that was it, brother. If you watch
that saved you all that planning and expense. Did you have a pandemic so you didn't have to throw a wedding?
You know what? I've been married before. He hates when I say this. This is my second marriage. This is my last marriage. But I have participated in a wedding before, and it is intense. It is. Yeah. It is. So yeah. So what am I doing? I'm like just enjoying my life, having it great. Back. It takes a lot of time to make a TV show. I was really grateful to do it, but I was ready for a break.
Draining. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry to hear about the cancellation, but I'm happy to hear about the quality time that you're getting together. So that's great. Clayling, what are you up to? What are you doing?
Well, I just wrapped up my documentary, Big Love. It's about African American women, plus size women, also plus size just individuals in general. And I was able to interview some women here in the city of Detroit, as well as men, and just talking about relationships and the stigmas and the statistics of plus size women in relationships. That was a super, super long venture because I tried to do everything on my own. The pandemic hit. People didn't want to do face-to-face documentary, so I had to learn about Zoom and get that together. But all in all, we wrapped that up, and it was successful. I ended up with a 2-volume series, and it was just simply excellent. Getting ready to do a community event, a mass giveaway June 5th, where we'll be passing out PPE and we will be, just passing out items, hand sanitizers, all of that good stuff. We're going to try to service at least 300 people in my community. So we're super excited about that. This is the first year in about 5 years I haven't been able to do a production. So I just don't know what to do with myself, but stay busy. And just interact, the best I can and just stay current and all that good stuff and just taking it all in. It's the first year without my mom. So, we're pushing through.
Yeah.
But all in all, it has been great. It lets you know what's important and what's not important, and, but through all in all, you still have that passion to create. So what do creative people do when they're under some type of restriction? We find an innovative way to create. So that's what I'm doing. And I've gotten positive feedback from the community from the documentary.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, obviously I am a fan topic, but also because I'm a fan of you. For some background on my relationship with Clayling, we, creative people find each other no matter where they are. So, I've been with the YMCA for a long time, and Clayling is a coworker of mine. And when my son was 9 weeks old and started going to the Y, he was in Miss Clayling's room. So she taught me how to take care of him, basically, because I didn't know what I was doing at all. And then once we started talking, I was like, "You're a theater person." And we have a theater there. So she ended up doing some of her productions there too. So I'm very blessed to have made that connection in a place I didn't expect to.
I'm a super fan of Margaret. Super fan of Margaret. I think she's a genius.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to argue with you about it, but I appreciate that. Aurora, what are you doing?
To be totally accurate, the creative thing I've been doing the most consistently is growing my hair. This year has been a lot of hair growing.
Big undertaking.
It's a big undertaking. It's the longest it's ever been. It's been such a crazy mix. It's so interesting hearing you guys talk because, as a creative person, you strive to keep being creative. And I think it's not hard to find ideas or things you're inspired by. But in this last year and a half, it's been hard to, on one hand, limit yourself so that you can get through all the health and, lockdown procedures, all that kind of stuff. And then when I go from that to trying to be like having a Zoom creative meeting to like, work on a script or something, going back and forth from like bubbling over overwhelming to like, okay, we just have to stay in the apartment because there's nowhere to go. That's a big transition. So, but I mean, I have managed to be working on things. I've been able, we finished working on Baroness like over a year and a half ago now, because we finished shooting we finished shooting season 5 and we knew it was going to be our last one. And then we were editing and then the pandemic hit and luckily that can be finished in a room individually. So I've been working on new ideas. I've been pitching some documentary series ideas with my sister-in-law, who is a writer and a journalist and works at the Globe and Mail, which is a national newspaper here in Canada. And that's super exciting. I love documentaries, grew up watching them, want to do that when this is all, when we can get things going, and working on some scripts with friends. But also a big part of my life has been what I'm sure, I guess a lot of people are, which is taking care of people. My dad has developed dementia in the middle of this whole thing starting last August. And so my sisters and I, through COVID and trying to incorporate all that stuff, plus, 2 of them had to come from out of the country, working out how to keep him so he's not alone and we take care of him, and then also negotiate with the long-term care, system while all this is going on. Plus, there's a friend who
I think we lost her. Well, we will continue on until Aurora can join us again. And I really do want to address what she was talking about, because I myself am also what they call a sandwich caregiver, which is someone who's, helping to take care of their parents. There you are.
It just kicked me out. I got to take care of my router, apparently.
I was really upset with what you were talking about, and I didn't want to hear anymore. No, I don't know what happened.
But, it's like, I mean, I'm sure everybody has to do something about that, or like what I was just describing, because like my friend, she's going through a really difficult health time and her family doesn't live close by. So, everybody has to try to find ways to take care of each other, especially when that involves health stuff. I don't mean to rub it in, but there are many times when I've taken her like for another blood test, or we picked her up from the hospital again, that we don't have to worry in this case about money or insurance and what that does, because I cannot imagine trying to sort through that stuff and wondering if you're going to bankrupt your whole family at the same time. And I have only like major sympathy for everybody, because I feel like that must be going hand in hand with trying to keep your own self together for so many people.
Trust me, this week when my kid had to go to the hospital, I was like, we just found out we were getting money back from our taxes. Of course we did, because our kid's in the hospital. You know what I mean? Like, and then everybody goes, well, at least you have it. At least you have it. I'm like, oh, shut up. I want to be Canadian, so I don't have to have it. Anyway, I was saying when you were gone, you're in that category of sandwich caregiver, like I have been lately, where you're helping take care of your parents and also your own children. Because my dad had been in and out of the hospital, and there's that thing too when it was really bad here in Michigan, and he wasn't getting put in a room, like an 89-year-old guy in the hallway waiting for a room. Well, this is a fun show.
It's a super fun show.
Funny people talking.
You keeping it real. This is change the show. This is keeping it real with Margaret and friends. We're gonna keep it real. It's real in these streets. I was thinking about what you were saying. Let me take it a little bit higher. My husband and I we need to finish our wills and trust accounts, like if something happens to us, and mostly because we're also dealing with the same thing of like taking care of our parents. My sister right now, my youngest sister, is a caregiver, but she has a daughter who's a toddler. It's just like, it's so intense. And so the lawyer told us, you might want to look into getting life insurance that has like long-term care, a rider that long-term care, where you actually get some money added to your account in case you outlive what people think you are going to live. And, I was like, and we don't have any children yet. And so I was like, we need, like, who's going to take care of us? Cause I'm like, I don't know. I'm sorry to spiral so down. But
Look,
Hey,
we're following
yeah.
threads.
I was like, we want to have kids, and then
Yeah.
we just started talking to like some fertility people, and they're just like, when they told me the price tags, we should have had these things from scratch. So that's also an issue. Then I'm like, well, I wanted to have a kid so they could take care of me, but it sounds like I may be living a long time and the kids might not ever come. I better get this long-term care insurance. I mean, how do you not just keep eating frozen pizza and not exercise and give up? That just was
Yes.
my question.
Honestly, I was driving over to my parents the other day, and it was like one of the first nice days, and there was all these people like running and doing all these great, fun, outdoorsy things, and I was like, "Why are you doing that? Everything's terrible. Why are you out here?"
How can you?
I wanted to yell at them.
Just enjoying life,
I know.
Just
They
enjoying
don't
life.
get
It's like,
it.
don't you understand? It's a pandemic. Stop enjoying life.
Everything's awful.
Run for the hills.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I think I need to join them because it's been dark in here.
It's real.
100%.
We have a saying. We have a saying around here. Sometimes life will just life you.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
stealing that.
Here's a whole bunch of lessons right now. It's
Oh
like,
my God.
okay, I guess I'm learning that. Okay, great.
Seriously, I know I mentioned it at the top of the show, but when they were like 60 Minutes was like the Pentagon saw some UFOs, I'm like, of course they did.
Oh yeah. Okay, sorry,
Of course
but
they
like,
That's what
did.
we're waiting for.
who was? I can't remember who Obama
Come
was
on.
doing the interview with. I think it was maybe Trevor Noah, and they're like, okay, so tell us about the aliens, and he's like, there's some things I can't tell you. It's like, okay, right there. There's stuff you can't tell us. What is it? What the heck? At this
Like,
point,
what's
I would
really going
almost
on?
welcome
Seriously.
something crazy like that because, like, what else can happen? Could there be something that finally breaks everybody out of their own little world and their own little, like, wars with their neighbors and their enemies and stuff and be like, oh my God, that would be.
Listen, Clayling and I live in Michigan, so we know how bad people can be.
Oh, trust me, we know.
They wanted to kidnap
I
and
feel
kill
some
our
kind of way about
governor.
this mass, everything coming back to the same, and now we're gonna begin to open up, and I'm feeling some kind of way. I think it's gonna be like some mass bullying going on, and I'm like, I'm wearing my mask. I'm gonna wear my mask, and
Agreed.
don't you say anything to me. I feel like you gotta, dress up for war when you're going outside, because you just never know. You
Oh,
getting all
no,
these
you
strange
don't.
looks and people looking at you crazy, like I have my mask on. Thank you.
Yeah, there
But
was
that's
in
the
my
time we're
little
living in.
community, which is kind of like this Mayberry, like sweet little, suburb. On the Facebook page, somebody was like, grown man yelled at my 11-year-old daughter and her friend for wearing their masks. Take those masks off or whatever. And there's a long discussion about it. And finally my husband was like, can we get to the part about a grown man yelling at girls? like let's
Yeah.
don't even care about the masks. What is happening?
Same shit, different pile. Always of all those people who are like so into like the bodily autonomy that they're arguing for, how people shouldn't, should be their choice and they decide what to do to their body. I'm like, oh really? Oh, is that what we're doing now? Are we allowing people
I'm
to
sorry.
have
You open the
autonomy
door
over their
because
own
I'm
body?
about to walk through it. Right.
Oh, that's good to know because
Cool.
there's a few places there where that would be nice.
Although I was feeling for you, Aurora, because it was the rarest of occurrences that we got shots before you did.
I have to say, at Christmas, if you'd told me that we would be floundering up here in Ontario and the states would just be sailing towards all these vaccinations, I would be like, wow, well, I wouldn't have thought it. And I'm very happy that things have improved a bit down there. Like it's really nice to see things working and things progressing. I don't know what's up with our premier. He's like the governor. He although apparently his daughter is married to an anti-vaxxer apparently, so I don't know.
Really?
Maybe that's why he wasn't listening to the science so much. It's been a bit just depressing, the virtual schooling and all it's like you can't. I'm waiting I want to go to a movie so badly, so
Are you a
bad.
movie theater person?
Yeah, I want to go and I want Dune to come out right at the right time. We can go.
Yeah.
We can get. I want to get packed in with. I mean, in a safe way, in the right time, obviously. But like, I'm just like craving being in a crowded bar. I'm craving being in an audience even. Like, I'd love to do a show, but I'd love to even just be in the audience for a great show and just be in a bunch of great people laughing. It's
Yeah.
just been really a long time. This spring, weirdly, has been harder than the last one. I'm not being funny at all, guys.
It doesn't matter. It's
You know
like
what?
not
I
being
was
funny.
gonna say it's okay. I was gonna say so I'm the opposite of you. I don't think those things are ever coming back. I have a very bleak idea about all of this. You know, my husband frequently tells me it's going to come back. I'm like, it's not. It's over. Life as we knew it is over. We went to a drive-in and it was a drive-in red carpet where they took a picture of us in our car on a red carpet.
That's amazing.
The drive-in experience was just fine. It was fine. I mean, we listened to the show from an app in the car.
Had you been to a drive-in before that?
We'd been to one other, but
Okay.
I don't remember. I think when I was very little, maybe I
Yeah.
went. I personally, I liked it. Now, I also do stand-up, and they were thinking about bringing back like stand-up shows and doing them at drive-ins. And it is, and the audience honks, I guess, when they think things are funny, which I don't know how I feel about that, because I think stand-up and like comedy is just hard to judge. But watching maybe like a movie like Dune or something like that, I think it could. I think the drive-in should come back, because I feel like nothing is coming back. I'm also, though, a huge conspiracy theorist. I wear my mask. I got vaccinated. However, every day I tell my husband they're going to tell us this is all an experiment, and that we did not pass. And also, I've mentioned this before. All these Zooms that we are having with people, how do we know these people are not already recolonized someplace else on another planet? And that's why they don't want to open back up. Come on, man.
You know what? I hear you, but I don't have enough faith in humans that we could get it together to pull that off properly with nobody spilling the beans. Is where I come to it. I'm like, could we actually put that together? Ideally, yes, but we'd probably mess it up. Like, so I have like an adjacent kind of cynicism to yours, I guess. That's like, I don't know.
Because I guess, I could see, like, my sister, she's always one-upping me. So I'm sure she'd be like, girl, we've been in Mars. We've been in Mars this whole time. Just so you know, I got mama, I take care of mama, and I took mama to Mars. Just so you know, you still there. She wouldn't be able to like just be, hey, our sister's still back on Earth. We need to just Zoom with her. She does not know she's in the great experiment. My sister would tell.
I read that online somewhere. The best way to deal with like somebody who's into a conspiracy is to one up them. Somebody's like, we faked the moon landing. Just go, you think there's a moon or something like that, you know? And just
that's great.
Trumpet a little. Sorry, I shouldn't say that.
What's a moon? Right.
Yeah.
Really quickly, Winter Moss Art's got some great comments here. But my favorite is they invented COVID so they could change the batteries in the birds. Duh. That was
Obviously.
it. We all had to go inside, so we didn't see them changing the batteries in the birds. Clayling, is there anything you're looking forward to doing on the other side of this, or do you think we're never going to be in a theater again?
No, I don't think we're ever going back to a normal or the way things.
Oh, dang, we lost her.
Okay, this is now the second time when somebody started to talk about something really deep, and suddenly, they're gone.
All right.
They're gone from the screen.
Since this is
they're listening.
Right.
They're listening.
Since this is the conspiracy theory episode. There she is.
There she is.
Y'all, and I know it's the man that's doing this.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I let the man in.
Okay, go quickly.
Listen, I don't think things are going to go back to normal.
Share the truth.
Okay, let me hurry up. The code is no. Network TV. Just seeing how network TV is going to evolve. That's what I want to see. How network TV is going to evolve. It seems like all the major talk shows are either canceling or people are just quitting. Things just don't look the same. And also, how is the theater going to look now? How's Broadway going to look now? That's my biggest thing.
I don't know,
man. Well, that Broadway thing, I don't know. Theater in general.
Shocked. That I'm glad they're selling tickets. That's, I guess, a step in the right direction to maintain morale. But people we all come from the theater. The theater is already criminally underpaid. So to think that now people are going to go risk their life for someone else's Saturday night, I don't know. Like, I think those wages have to be, for our performers, have to be exponential. For our front of the house staff, it has to be different. We need a different system, because right now a lot of these are unpaid positions, volunteer positions, and it's a risk to, I get you've been living your life maybe in a way where you can quarantine and still shelter in place, and people are still sheltering in place. If you're watching this and you think it's over, it's not.
Mhm.
But by opening the theater back up, you know, that makes it so people who want to earn their living, they have to come out of their house for wages that are ridiculous, and we need to change that. I think that's one of the major reforms that we need for theater, is that we have people risking their lives for nothing now.
Oh yeah.
You know, we
It's been
actually watched the Army of the Dead, the new Zack Snyder zombie movie last night. I'm convinced it is a project to give employment to all the dancers in Vegas or in Los Angeles, because all the zombies are incredibly graceful. They look like they're in the Thriller video. They're like, like moving back and forth, and they've got little dance shoes, and they are so graceful. And we were like, yeah, these are all the show dancers who have not been working in Vegas this whole time, and they've hopefully gotten a really good paycheck. But you're absolutely right, Christina. And I think that when people finally realize how much they do really need it's like the most essential people are the audience, right? And like that connection. I wonder what it will take for us to realize that we need that, and not just a streaming service and stuff like that. And unfortunately, my darkness is, I'm like, oh, it'll take a disaster. Like we'll realize how important it is to be in a room together when things get really bad, like that, when we have to express something that everybody needs expressed, and we'll start valuing that, I think, only when really pushed to. There will be a lot of bullshit, I think, before that comes back. And I hope that we get there. And I hope that people really realize that and start treating people better, that the point of life is also, wow, I am also clearly not used to talking to new people, because I'm just like, and then we have to do this. We have to like value each other. But it's true, like,
you know what? It's something that's kind of happened in the last handful of these shows. Is we walk into it like, we got some funny women, we're gonna be funny, but life is fucking real right now. And so when you get, smart, creative women in this room together, we start talking about this stuff. It's not gonna all be fart jokes, and you know what I mean? Like, we've got real stuff going on in our lives. So it's been deep, but in a good way. Like,
and certainly as a creator, I've been trying to really think, like, I'm like, well, like, what do I want to say? Like, it certainly makes, the question of things being so dire sometimes means that I'm like, well, what is really important right now? Like, what do I want to say in a documentary that I think like we all need to like look more closely at this? Or if I'm trying to work on something entertainment wise, it's like, as an audience member, I try to, pay attention, like, what am I craving? What am I watching? And sometimes it's interesting, because sometimes during this year, it's been like, I'm just going to smoke a little Canadian joint, and we're going to watch The Princess Bride, because that not only is a wonderful fantasy movie, it's from the 80s, which I remember it's like a friend from high school walking in, sometimes
simpler time.
Yeah, that bathing vacation of not having to think about this reality. And sometimes you want something that is like really pushing even further into the reality. And hopefully I'll come up with something good to offer people,
You bring up an interesting point though, Aurora. So I'm interested, like, what do you guys think about, it's like, as far as like making new artwork, or when you're working on new projects? Something that comes up frequently in my circles is, does the pandemic exist in this project, in this world?
Yeah.
And it's been interesting. Obviously, the show that I just worked on, Mixed-ish, was set in 1986. And so it was never a question. It didn't exist. There was no way for us to sell it if we did wear masks or things like that. But I do wonder sometimes, I personally, I do watch things now, and I look at them and I'm like, why aren't they addressing coronavirus? Why don't they have on masks? Or sometimes people wear masks and then they take them off, and I don't understand their reasoning or they tell each other, I just had a test, I'm clean. I'm like, what are y'all saying? This is not how it works.
Yeah.
But it is interesting. I wonder, like, will we continue to ask ourselves, especially as things become period pieces, if I make a show, do I just act like it's from 2018 or
Yeah.
2019?
It's
That's-
funny.
Is that the weird day for my present day show, or is it?
My
We have-
writing
And then if you do that,
association. Sorry, go ahead, Clayling.
no, if you do, and then if you do that, if you be creative and create a period piece, you still got to worry about the individuals within that set today, and try to figure out a way to keep everybody safe. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And that's why
Yeah.
I watch things so intricately on I watch different episodes on TV, and I'm looking at them and I'm saying, have everybody, they've been tested? Is that why they're not wearing a mask? Or is everybody vaccinated? But now you have to think outside of the box, and I'm just like, wow. It's really hard, because I'm thinking maybe I could do a show outside, to try to keep everybody safe. I don't know. Like maybe we can go on Belle Isle and do something. I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe
it's really something.
everybody in this sitcom is a surgeon in the middle of surgery, and it's about our adventures,
Right.
and we can all have our masks on.
Yeah. We had the exact
right.
same. That's such a true question, Christina, because we like on a script that I'm working on. It's like a teen teen romance supernatural
Like a
drama kind of
YA,
thing. Yeah. And we had this discussion about, do we reference it specifically? Do people even want to see that, or are they like, no, I want to change the channel, I don't want to think about that? But we thought about things, and it's funny because I was thinking about this earlier when you were talking about the farm in France. Well, it was like, well, there's probably a lot of empty houses. Like, are these characters moving to this town because there are a lot of houses available suddenly? Because, after maybe not specifically COVID in our story, but something has happened, and there's probably some housing available, sadly. Like, or are people like leaving their rich houses and like moving to the country? Like, where does that? So we're trying to sort our way around that, but I think. I think all of us, in a way, and I would imagine network executives are trying to gauge, like, well, when will this be over? Does anybody want to hear about that? Being reminded about it.
Exactly. And do you want to continue to run those type of storylines? Because TV is about capturing people imagination away from their daily life and their daily problems, and you get just engrafted in your binge watching and your favorite show. To see the reflection of the day. You know what I'm saying? Because every time I see somebody acting and I see them wearing that mask, it's just a reflection of the time that we're in, and it can be kind of depressing. So what can we do creatively to capture society's imagination and pull them away, yet stay safe, yet stay relevant? It's something.
Thank you, Jerry Jankowicz, for your comment. He's saying embrace change, and he agrees that theater actors are underpaid. I'm going to get one question in that is, I'm just looking at my list, that is not COVID related, because we have solved the world's problems on that. And then we got to do our awards. So let me go with this one, because I think it's kind of fun. So the bar we all used to hang out at by the Planet Inn is the Seven Brothers, and so we used to call these Seven Brothers plans, but they're your bar napkin plan. The idea that you always have loved but never have gotten around to creating, whether it's a documentary film or a play you want to write, or a short, or whatever, or even just a topic that you're like, oh, I always wanted to write something about this or perform something about that. Does anybody have a bar napkin idea that they're like, oh, someday?
Well, I'm in this awkward position because I'm pitching one of those ideas, so I can't
don't
really
give
talk
anything
about it.
away.
I can't. But I will say
it's
it's many years ago. I made a little list of bucket list. I had declined getting married, but it was still depressing, kind of thing afterwards. And I was like, well, what do I want to do? And I made a list of my life goals. And so this is, part of the creative thing that my sister-in-law were doing. We're like, well, what do we really want to do? How do we want to spend our time? Which involves like travel and all these other things. And so I'm trying to pitch this is so useless for me to not be able to tell you about it, but I want so hard to tell you about it. But yeah, it's about like, how can I do the
it's
thing
a reason for us to bring you back again. So
exactly.
Yep. Keep going.
I'll go. I mean, I'm in the same position. I'm gonna say I'm gonna be pitching something, so I don't really want to say my main thing.
I see.
However, I've always fantasized about wanting. Well, this is just like a dumb story, but I've always wanted to meet. Oh, now I forget his name. The man from Quantum Leap.
Scott Bakula?
Scott Bakula. And so I pitched this idea of like when I first came to Hollywood, I was like, if I could just find Scott Bakula, I don't know why. I was like, I would meet him, we would link up, and we would do a project together, and that would be like what would jumpstart my television career. And so I have actually pitched this like short kind of documentary of me trying to find Scott Bakula, like just this unconnected actress trying to just
lucky
like call
for you, Christina. Scott Bakula is a fan of Hey Gurl, and he is. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, while I was pitching, this is a true story. While I was pitching it, he walked in behind me at Starbucks.
No!
Oh my goodness!
Stop it!
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Did he overhear his name?
Did he hear his name? Yeah.
No, but I just walked up to him. I'm like, "You're Scott Bakula." He was like, "I am." He was like at the Staples Center, Starbucks with his kid, like seeing the LA Kings probably for hockey or something. And I was like, what
a setting to be pitching.
Did you pitch
me to the Staples Center? I don't have a lot of time. Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, they were just like, what are you gonna do now? And I'm like, it's just so ruined.
Talk about an elevator pitch, right? Like, you'd be like, I'm pitching a show when and it's like,
that reminds me of a screenplay I wrote that I'm turning into a book that was like based on a dream I had that was with Brendan Fraser in it, and I never had any like particular affinity, but he was like he was this like preacher in the UP in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan in like the 30s. Like some rando dream.
Yeah. So I probably could still work on it. It just would be fake now because I found him.
I love the documentary idea of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that would be really good.
But it also goes to show you it's not that hard to find people, you guys.
Clearly. But shit, if you would have had the footage from that, meetup, then it would have been
only a little body cam, a little GoPro. Right. And there's your ending. There it is.
Clayling, you got a bar nap idea that you'll someday do?
Two things. I want to write a soap opera.
Oh, I love it.
You know, a cheesy.
Got to bring them
opera.
back. Yes.
Yeah. And I want to write for Tyler Perry.
All right.
Oh.
I want to write for him.
I think you'll be the first.
I want to write.
The first?
I know because he write all his stuff.
Yep.
I'm saying to him, I want to write for you.
Just have a seat.
Okay.
I'll do it.
Let me do
relax, Tyler.
You don't have to do heavy lifting. I want to do that because I feel like sometimes when it's okay to carry all the heavy weight, but there's so many talented people out here,
That's right.
And you get different perspectives. I want to write for him.
I want a second
in the term of like. Yes, I like it. It feels very The Secret that we're saying this out loud into the internet.
This is how Henry Cavill became The Witcher. He was like, I'd love to do that. And put it out there.
You had to mention Henry Cavill. No, I lost my train of thought.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh God, what's happened? I was like, he was canceled today, wasn't he? Great.
He should have a PPO on me. Isn't that a protective order? Like, I'm not necessarily stalking him, but if he were nearby, it would get weird.
Right.
Well, it's a good thing this isn't recorded.
Or put out onto the internet at all. No. Yeah, I adore him. I absolutely love him. Too much.
He's Superman too, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You know what? I have to say, I confess, up until The Witcher, I couldn't watch Henry Cavill. I was convinced, and my husband will back me up here, like that he was a weird psychopath, and that
not the best actor.
Well, I think that it was just that Superman is not the part for him. But and I was like, oh, great, he's The Witcher. He's going to ruin your favorite game, babe. Great. And I was like, fine, I'll watch it with you. 180 change. I was like, he's perfect for that part. When I'm watching Superman, I'm like, oh, there's Geralt, but in a weird costume. Like, I can't wait for him to come back and be the Witcher, right?
With
Sorry,
a
guys, I'm super
beard.
nerding out here, but like,
no, because I was about to
if
say,
Christina wants to beat Scott Bakula, there's got to be a nerd somewhere in there, right?
well,
Am I
let me
right?
say, I also highly recommend Man from U.N.C.L.E. He was very good in that. And here's a challenge with that is, oh, what's his name is in it, and he's really cute, but now he's like totally a
A
creep.
cannibal.
He's a cannibal. What's his
Army
name?
Hammer.
goodness.
Army Hammer.
Yeah.
You know what though? He came from a really, 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 really rich family. I think that much money makes you crazy and cannibal. All right, one really quick question. I know I'm like pushing time, but I don't care. One really quick question, and then we'll get to our awards. So, since we do have acting backgrounds around here, are there any roles you like, dream roles, either type or a specific character that you would love to play someday?
Well, up until a few months ago, when I knew that they were doing a Buffy reboot, I was like, let me be your big bad. Let this middle-aged white woman be your villain, please. And I started following the new showrunner and all that kind of stuff. And then in the last few months, I've been like, maybe that's not going to happen. But but I was like, that's what I want to do. Please, somebody cast me as a villain.
Okay. I have a lot of
I want
geekdoms,
to
but
do like
Buffy
an
was never
improv
one of them.
series like Mad TV. You know, I wish you would
Okay,
bring
like
Mad
a
TV
sketch.
back.
Mm-hmm. I was just thinking about Mad TV with Keegan being on Saturday Night Live recently. Yeah, you would be great on that, Clayling.
Oh man,
Look,
I wish
I
they'd
know
bring it
you.
back.
You're a. If you need a sandbox to play in, you'll build one. So I'm sure you'll end up
Hello,
writing a sketch
listen,
show.
queen of creating anything out of nothing.
Mhm.
So I had all of the classroom furniture on my set for one show. Just pulled it from the classroom and put it in the theater.
Mhm. Any roles, Christina? You're dying to play?
Oh, I'm dying to get my grimy little hands on that Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yes.
And I mean, they put comedians in there, but like, I really want to like let it rip and be like a superhero, but
That would be
also with my same Black woman
What would be your
sensibility.
superhero name?
Basically, we already talked about this super common sense woman because I feel like a lot of these problems we're having
Yeah.
is just because someone hasn't come up to someone and said, "Have you lost your mind?"
And then that's when you activate your power.
Right.
Yes.
That's right.
Like, it's
Yes.
like, Deborah, this is your fourth marriage. Have you lost your mind?
Okay.
I've saved you from a world of hurt.
So how do you manifest this power? Do you move people out of the situations? Do you have telekinesis? Is it just that they're struck by your wisdom and they're like, you're right, I need to reevaluate things and go and change it? Like what do we
I
see?
think you walk right up to people. You don't, I think she doesn't even, like, she has like super hearing,
Yes.
sensitive hearing. So it's like from all the way across the stadium.
Look, somebody's doing something
propose to that
stupid.
woman, and you know you live with a woman now. Don't you do it? Don't you do it? And it's just like the guy puts the ring back in his pocket. He's like,
And there's
"That's crazy."
constant reaction shots of people going, "How did she know? Wow, I got to really think about this," And they're just
I'm so glad she came by. I was going to do something really stupid.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I love it. Victor Jones was asking, "Are you sure it wasn't somebody else leaping into Scott Bakula's body when you saw it?" Okay, well, it is time for us to give out our Hey Girl Ally Awards. It's time for the Ally Awards. So Aurora, I'll put you on the spot. Why don't you give away your Ally Award? Before she does, let me tell you, these are awards to commemorate people in our lives who have helped us along the way, support, love, caring, whatever makes you want to recognize someone. So who do you want to recognize tonight?
Tonight, I'm recognizing Sherry Hollett, and she is an amazing writer, director, actor, improviser who lives here in Toronto. And on a personal note, she really helped me because she was the person who hired me into Second City. I had been at a drama school. I had a degree in acting kind of thing, but I was just kind of getting into the scene and taking classes, and I auditioned for the touring company, and she hired me in, and that started the last 20 plus years of my life. And she was a really cool lady to look up to, because she had gone through Second City, London. There was this like a little Canadian tangent in London, Ontario.
Oh yeah.
She was a director. She and her husband, Chris Earl, are a partner, and she's always had great respect for the craft of improvising, the craft of acting, the craft of writing. Criminally ignored sometimes, I think, when they're choosing directors in the Toronto Second City, because they have a tendency to go with the same dudes over and over again. And I feel
I'm not going to say guys, but guys.
Yeah. So they could have and potentially still could branch out and use her incredible talent. But certainly I wouldn't be here without that.
Didn't she direct here in Detroit?
I think she
did.
might have.
I wasn't there, but I think she did.
Yes. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Sherry Hollett. You won an Ally Award. Clayling, why don't you give out your award?
So I'm giving my award to Bettina Marks. She is a local actor, director here in Detroit, Michigan. I just stumbled upon this talented person one day. We were both in the same production, and we were rehearsing at the Salvation Army downtown Detroit. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at this person. Sometimes creative people can, they can look just, a little bit eccentric. And I'm looking at this woman like, oh my God, who they have working in this production? Come to find out, she was one of the most creative minds that I've met thus far. And she has directed all of my productions, and she just have a third eye that I don't have. I tried to direct one of my plays before, and it was horrible. And so now my ensemble is like, when is Bertina coming? Is she coming in the third week of rehearsals? When is she coming? And so she just brings my scripts to life, and she's just able to see what I can't see as far as staging and blocking and all of that good stuff. And yeah, she's awesome. She's actually doing another production for my friend right now, and I'm so jealous, because I feel like I'm still
she's
away.
Cheating on you.
Cheating on me. I'm trying to keep it cool. Like, I'm so proud of you, but I'm like, don't do anything else, okay? But yeah,
congratulations, Bettina Marks. You won an Ally Award. Aurora must have been talking about some government secrets, so she's been booted for the moment. Unfortunately, she'll miss out on Christina giving out her award. There she is. Please stop talking about the aliens, because we want you to stay on the screen, Aurora.
Okay.
All right, Christina, it's your turn.
Oh, I'm giving my award to Joseph Shupak. They are a writer, director, a longtime friend and champion of mine, and really just champions women's voices, comedic voices, and also is a food enthusiast like I am, and has a podcast called, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm going to say this right, Mirepoix.
Mirepoix? Mm-hmm.
Mirepoix? Okay. Yeah, and it's about appreciating the three components that start a recipe of, like, whatever yours is.
Carrots, onions, carrot, and celery. Something like that, I think.
But it changes from culture to culture. So it's really cool.
Interesting.
I did a conversation with him. It's a conversation with a bunch of different, not just women, all kinds of people are on it. But Joseph is he's been, again, just a real champion for me. And also is what I think is the best job in the world, is a high school theater and playwriting instructor.
Nice.
And so I just think it's amazing.
Nice.
And he talks about every day about how he forms these alliances with different kids. And it's like, they don't even know how great they are. And what a great friendship, I think, is born with your high school theater.
Where it all starts. Absolutely. Yeah.
Mm.
Congratulations, Joe. You are an ally and have been awarded. Awesome. Congratulations, everybody. Good job. Those are some kick-ass allies you got. No wonder why you're so amazing.
Aww. Superstar.
I am gutted to tell you that we are end of our time together. But I want to give. I know
It
it's
flew
gross.
by. It flew
Flew
by.
Therapy
I'm-
always does.
Seriously, I know. I looked up at probably the 45-minute point where we were still like working out the world's problems, and I was like, "Shit, I haven't asked a question yet."
Didn't need
But
to.
that's how interesting you all are. You guys made my job really easy tonight. I just listened to you.
So
thanks
easy
for
and
that.
fun. So fun. It's so
Mhm.
cool to talk to
Yeah.
people about these things. And
I know.
yeah.
And just thinking that everybody's thinking alike,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even
Feel
though
what
we've
you
all been
feel.
sequestered and far from each other.
I'm thinking I
well-
need to go out and get new glasses because I am just being
You do need to up your glasses game.
Yeah.
Because I'm in third place in the glasses war.
Oh
'Cause,
Lord.
I don't know. It's a tie for first between Christina
New
and Clayling.
glasses
Yeah.
make you feel good.
Right.
Ah,
Makes me look smart.
things. Yep. I'm just going for smart. I got between the glasses and like a Yoda shirt.
Oh,
Somebody will think
yes.
I'm cool, Baby Yoda, sorry. I'm so thankful to all three of you for being here tonight. What an amazing time. I'm going to give you a chance to shout out any projects or any causes or anything that you want to bring attention to. So either tell us where we can find you or what you want us to support. Aurora, start us off.
I would like everybody to do themselves the fun favor of watching my husband's web series. It's called Bit Playas, and they just won 2 Canadian Screen Awards for web series, Best Writing and Best Web Series Fiction. And I'm so proud of him and the show, and everybody who's in it is just like, the little web series. They made their budget like explode onto screen, and it's so
Amazing.
funny and a great series.
Say the name again so we can find it.
Bit Playas.
Bit Playas.
For nerdy actors, that's all about that.
Love it. Clayling, what do you want to signal boost?
I want everyone to look me up on YouTube. My documentary Big Love. You can search for Drama Entertainment Big Love or Clayling Woods Big Love Part 1 or Part 2. Also, June 5th, we're doing a massive mask giveaway for the community. Drama Entertainment gives back, so check me out.
Cool. Where's your event? Do you know? Do you have a?
It's going to be at the Dolores Bennett Park in Midtown, downtown Detroit.
Awesome. And last but not least, Christina, what would you like to shout out?
Check out season 2 of Mixed Dish on Hulu. It's just a real 1986 getaway. I'm sure some of your favorite songs and fashions will be featured. So check it out. It's a nice brain break.
And Christina's character is super hilarious, by the way. So.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm still very, very proud of it. So yeah, check it out and take a break. Mixed Dish, season 2, Hulu.
Awesome. Thank you all for being here. And thanks to Jess for being as kick-ass as she always is. I think we'll have a little image for the Detroit Women of Comedy Festival. Don't forget, that is the weekend after next. And we will be doing a very special episode with the cast of Mama's Boy. So check us out for that. That'll be on Friday, June 4th. Thanks to my amazing guests. Thanks to everybody who watched tonight. And have a wonderful rest of your weekend. All the best to you.
Thanks so much, Margaret.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you, Margaret.